And as you're doing that, I'm going to come around and collect your work from yesterday.
What did we do yesterday? We didn't finish
the video.
We didn't finish.
We'll have a discussion, but I'll collect your work now.
Oh.
Let me find it first.
He only put one word on the front.
I was going to read some graphic. Thank you, sir.
My name's on the front. Wait, I didn't put my name on the front.
Yeah, it's okay. Your name's on it.
It's on the actual piece of paper.
Thank you, sir.
Match your urges.
Thank you.
Question mark too. I didn't understand the word. I didn't question mark. I was searching.
Is that all from the back table?
I wrote it on like the paper I used for the quick write, so I'm not trying to put through the.
Okay. No problem.
What year did you say this picture was taken? Like a range?
It might actually be on there.
It means addition.
Like, it's like 30,
No,
40?
Judging by the cards, I would say it's about 1912, 1913.
Yeah, early 1940s.
I was trying to figure it out by the clothes.
I had a couple pictures that I wanted to use for this. Either this one or there's one more of an aerial view of downtown DeLand. Same street, but it's dirt roads and they're riding horse and carriage. Which is really weird to see.
Have you seen the ones with the hotel?
Yeah. Yeah. There was one I saw earlier today of, you know, Pat and Tony's Sweet Shop
That's
on
my
the
word.
corner.
No one cares.
It used to be like a fish market.
And it also used to be a hot dog shop and a farm. Yeah, it's just
The hot dog place was all at once.
Cases on the corner.
Alright, so do I have everybody? Okay. Alright, I'll give you another minute or two to do that.
But they did. What else?
As you're finishing that up, I'm going to hand out, this is a pre-test for Thornton Wilder's Our Town. Don't worry, it's not difficult. This is for me, for the school of Bethune-Cookman, to basically show that you guys learned something from this unit on Our Town. Okay? So I'm going to pass this out while you're finishing that up.
We're just talking about that.
Let's go.
It's roller skating, right?
There you guys go. Oh no, don't worry. The lines, no, the lines are just if you were someone who writes very largely.
So like 3 lines of letter?
I work tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday.
There you guys go. All right. Anybody still working on the visual literacy? All right. Can I get one person to share what they wrote for the visual literacy? What do you think the people at this time paid attention to? What do you think they spent their time doing? Yes.
I think back then they're not as focused on what they want to do or their aspirations. I think they're more focused on their needs and like what they had to do. Back then it was much more like you need to survive and sort of provide for your family rather than what like you want to study. It was obviously more agriculture based, so I don't know, I feel like it's just what you have to do, just survive to the next thing.
think that they're thinking about like, 'cause it's like the early 1900s. So they're thinking about like what's foreign problems that might be happening, like tensions in Europe. Because if it's in the early 1900s, we're probably leading up to the Great World War I, the war to end all wars. So especially like now that like news was so like I guess it takes longer to like be printed, and because now we have phones and like we can find out what's happening like that.
Yeah.
Before they did it, and they're probably discussing it and stuff. And there's also like it's just I guess harder time to know what's happening, so there's more speculation. They don't have it.
Alright, so I'm going to give you guys about 5 minutes or so to do that pre-test. It shouldn't take very long. And as you work on that, I'm going to pass out your assignments for the unit of Our Town, and then also Our Town in the preface. Alright? So go ahead and work on that pre-test.
Like, what is it for big subjects?
So real quick, for the pre-test, let me get your attention. Our Town was a little play with all the big subjects in it, okay? What do you consider to be big subjects? In the space below, create a list of topics in big subjects. As you read the play, record how many of these topics Our Town explores. Big subjects, life, death, love, that type of stuff, racism.
So do we create a line like
immigration,
politics?
those are big subjects.
Let's just stop there.
Do we create like a list down the paper, because then it says report how many topics Our Town explores?
Yeah, you can see spaces.
That might have not.
You see that as perfectly straight line.
He's got prism glasses on, so it makes everything look straight.
Doesn't matter if it's crooked, it has to be straight.
As you read the play,
Oh.
Yeah, we're gonna come back to it even.
I just want to know what have been the polarization.
It says, what do you
No polling. Life, death, birth. The what I mean. I never knew
Brendan, thanks.
big issues. Big He's just writing a list.
Intellect.
You're welcome.
Human or God. I'm gonna put AKA down.
Alright, so, I just passed out the guided notes for Our Town and the preface to Our Town. Let me get everybody's attention. This is what we're going to be covering. Awesome, thank you. This is what we're going to be covering for the next few weeks, okay? This is our unit. I wrote on the board so you guys wouldn't forget it. Our Town, the writing activities are going to be the 50-point summative. Those are going to be due on March 5th, okay? That's the Monday before spring break, okay? That Friday we have off. sure if you guys are aware, but it's the Monday before. Grades go in that week, so I want to have it March 5th. That way I have time to get all your grades in. The presentations and participation grade. There's going to be a participation. Everybody's going to get to read while we go through the play. There's 20-something characters in this play, so everybody's going to get a chance. The presentations, that's on the very last piece, okay? But we'll get to that. Let's go ahead. Can I get somebody to read the first paragraph of the guided notes? Gabe.
Alright. Okay, over the next 2 weeks, you'll be reading Discussing Our Town by Thornton Wilder. Our Town, first opened on Broadway, February 4th, 1938. The American playwright and Pulitzer Prize winner Donald Margulies stated that Our Town is the great American play. Through it, Wilder exploded the accepted notions of character and story and catapulted American drama into the 20th century. 15 years prior to Our Town, Luigi Pirandello introduced 6 characters in search of an author. Thornton Wilder attended the world premiere and was heavily influenced by Pirandello's breakdown of the normal conventions of the drama.
Thank you. So I thought this was a perfect tie-in since we did 6 characters in search of an author, and he happened to be at the world premiere of that. And as you go through this, you're going to be taking notes on how they're similar and different, okay? Because there's a lot of similarities. He doesn't use a lot of props, just like 6 characters and Godot. So the preface. Thornton Wilder wrote a preface to Our Town, which ran in the New York Times on February 13, 1938, but was not published with the play until 1979. In this preface, he explains many of his thoughts and inspirations for Our Town. Answer the following questions while reading the preface to Our Town. So, we're going to read this preface together, then you're going to go through and answer these questions. A few of these activities we'll be able to knock out over the next couple days. You can work at your own pace as long as you get this all done and due to me by March 5th, okay? But I will go over all of it with you today. So, for the preface, you want to be noticing, what does Wilder mean when he refers to all the lies theater tells? Then the second one, how is film in theoretical peril of carrying on realism? How is theater's form of realistic storytelling more real than what is captured on camera? Then, how do the lines that were taken out of the stage manager's monologue relate specifically to the time and culture in which they were written? How do they relate to the culture of today? Why do you think those lines were removed from the play? So, let's pull out the preface now. Let me get somebody to read that very first paragraph. And feel free to write all over these, take notes.
I'll read it.
All right, thank you, Danny.
For a while in Rome, I lived among archaeologists, and ever since I find myself occasionally looking at the things about me as an archaeologist will look at them 1,000 years hence. Rockefeller Center will be reconstructed in imagination from the ruins of its foundations. How high was it? I think this will be written on the bronze plates found in New York's detritus heaps, tradesman entrance, night bell.
Thank you. Next paragraph.
In Rome, I was led through a study of the plumbing on the Palatine Hill. A friend of mine could ascribe a date within 10 years to every fragment of cement made in the Roman Republic and early Empire.
Thank you. You can keep reading if you want.
An archaeologist's eyes combine the view of the telescope with the view of the microscope. He reconstructs the very distant with the help of the very small. There's something of this method that I brought to a New Hampshire village. I spent parts of 6 summers tutoring at Lake Sunapi and 6 at the Lake Owl colony at Peterborough. I took long walks through scores of upland villages, and the archaeologist's and the social historian's point of view began to mingle with other unremitting preoccupation, which is a central theme of the play. What is the relation between the countless unimportant details of our daily life, on the one hand, and the great perspectives of time, social history, and current religious ideas on the other?
Thank you. Anybody else?
What is trivial and what is significant about any one person's making a breakfast, engaging in a domestic quarrel, in a love scene, and dying? To record one's feelings about this question is necessarily to exhibit a realistic detail of life, and one is at once up against the problem of realism in literature. Okay. I wish to record a village's life on the stage with realism and with generality. The stage has an deceptive advantage over the novel. In that lightened room at the end of the darkened auditorium, things seem to be half caught up into generality already. The stage cries aloud its mission to represent act and eternity. So powerful is the focus that it brings to bear on any presented occasion that every lapse of the author from its collaborative intensity is doubly conspicuous. The truth tumbles down into a heap of objective truths, and the result is doubly trivial.
Thank you. I'll take over. So I tried to restore significance to the small details of life by removing scenery. That's important right there. The spectator, through lending his imagination to the action, restages it inside his own head. In its healthiest ages, the theater has always exhibited the least scenery. Aristophanes' The Clouds in 423 BC, 2 houses are represented on the stage. Inside of one of them, we see 2 beds. Stepsiades is talking in his sleep about his racehorses. A few minutes later, he crosses the stage to Socrates'